The quiz presentation as part of Witness.com was held on 20th September in our church parochial hall. A specific time was allotted to each group. 2 catechism students from each class were invited to answer the quiz. Accordingly, Elaine Pereira and Ewan Ferrao represented the St. Francis Xavier group. Grayson Cruz and Roche de Cruz represented St. John Bosco class. Venerable Father Agnello de Souza class was represented by Flavia Lobo and Eloy Colasso. Fanuel de Cruz and Chelsea Pontis answered the quiz representing the group St. Francis of Assisi. St. Alfonso group followed next. This group was represented by Angeli Vaz and Klein Godino. Jolissa Mascarenhas and Ruth Colasso answered on behalf of the class St. Joseph Vaz. And finally, Aidan de Cruz and Suizel Fernandez answered the quiz based on the life of Blessed Sister Rani Maria, the patron saint of the class. All the students excelled in the quiz presentation and won full marks for their groups. Father Joseph Estrosio, parish priest of St. Francis Xavier Church, Maina, Corgaon, was the quiz master, who was all praise for the catechism children who gave a beautiful witness to their growing faith by studying the lives of the saints and imbibing their shining virtues.
Of Calcutta, but you know me as Mother Teresa. I was born in Skopje, Macedonia on 26 August 1910. Saint Teresa, the practice the virtue of patience.
Saint Teresa was known as the Saint Hortegatus. She was born in Albania, and when she was 12 years old, she heard God's call to serve the poor. She joined the Sisters of Loreto. She came to India in 1929 and devoted her life to helping the poor, helping the needy.
Where does this love begin? In our own family, in our own home. How does it begin? By praying together. Family that prays together stays together. And if you stay together, you will love one another as God loves each one of you. Today, in the world is so much suffering because of that want of prayer, of unity in the family. So today, when we are together, let us make one strong resolution that we will bring prayer in our family, that we will teach our children to pray and pray with them. And you will see the joy and the love and the peace that will come into your hearts. because the fruit of prayer is the deepening of faith, and the fruit of faith is love, and the fruit of love is service, and the fruit of service is peace. Works of love are works of peace. That is why let us bring the tender love of God in our families.
I want to follow Jesus. I want to be a witness of Jesus by helping the poor. I want to follow Jesus. I want to be a witness of Jesus by helping the poor. As Saint Jesus said, if you can't feed 100 people, feed one. Start today. Help a person to need. Become a witness of Christ. Thank you for watching this. Please send a message with your friends. Thank you.
Kerala, famously known as God's own country, it is a home to vast network of backwaters, wildlife sanctuaries, sprawling tea gardens, hill stations, colorful dances, spice plantations, etc. Kerala Christians boast of a history and culture as old as Christianity. The roots of Christianity in India can actually be traced back to the origins of Saint Thomas, one of the apostles of Jesus. It is believed he came to Kerala in 52 AD and founded Christianity here. Miriam Vattali was born on 29 January 1954 in a small village of Puluvazi near Cochin, Kerala. She was the second child of Peli and Eliswa of the Vattali family. At home, she was lovingly called Mary Kunj. She was a girl of few words. She needed only simple clothes and did not have any interest in wearing ornaments. She was an exceptionally obedient child. Mary Kunj received her first Holy Communion in 1963 and the sacrament of confirmation in 1966. She grew up in a healthy and a strong background of prayer and devotional practices. She showed great interest in going to church and taking part in Mass and other forms of popular devotions. During the final year of her school studies, Mary Kunj felt internal call to become the bride of Christ, the crucified. She shared her inner promptings with her cousin Cicely, who also thought alike. Responding to that call of Christ, on 3rd July 1972, Mary Kunj and her cousin Cicely joined the Franciscan Clarist congregation. During her novitiate days, Mary Kunj too had her crosses to carry. She noticed that a black mark was growing on her leg. Even though she underwent treatment, the doctor prescribed that she would not be healed completely. This caused her a lot of mental pain. All the same, she was not desperate and went ahead believing and entrusting herself to divine providence. The Lord rewarded her faith and cured her completely. Mary Kunju and the other novices made the first profession and donned the religious habit on 1st May 1974. She received the name Sister Rani Maria. She made her final commitment to Lord by taking perpetual vows on 22nd May 1980. Bishop Gracian Mundadan, Bishop of Bijor in North India, asked Sister Sophia, the superior of Ernakulam province, to send 2 nuns to serve in the Department of Social Service in his diocese. Sister Rani Maria and Sister Anne John were chosen to take up this mission. She was happy that finally what she was longing for came in search of her. With thirst to proclaim the good news to poor, she started off for Patna on 9 July 1975. She began her work by giving attention to the education of children in remote villages of Bijnor. She gathered together the children who used to play with the grazing cows. She made them sit under trees and taught them reading and writing. She executed projects of houses, roads, water, and electricity, and so on. She was gratefully acknowledged and was recognized as an established social worker. A swing meal of the village was named as Rani Mills. This meal was the fruit of her hard work. With her 8 years of service in Bijnor, she was able to bring about radical changes and substantial progress in 20 villages. On 23rd May 1983, Sister Rani Maria reached the hilly areas of Odagadi in the Diocese of Satna. Here too, she labored to uplift the poor and the downtrodden and to bring them back to the mainstream life. She took up barren land and marshy places and converted them into cultivable land. The problem of water scarcity was solved by constructing small dams which could conserve water. Fish tanks were built, machines were erected for oil extractions. The savings of people were deposited in the bank and were used for further development. Through women organizations, she taught the village women to take proper care of the children and to have some order in their homes. She encouraged small scale industries and centers of handicrafts. In Odagadi, about 25 villages were the recipients of her service. After 9 years of dedicated and selfless service in Odagadi, Sister Rani Maria reached Udayanagar in the Diocese of Indore on 16th May 1992. She tried to make the Adivasis and the ordinary people of the village self-reliant. She chose a few youngsters and gave them training to become animators. She taught them how to help the poor people and themselves by getting financial assistance from the government and private banks of Udayanagar and Indore. Here also she helped people to build houses, roads, wells, electricity supply, etc. The men folks were engaged in small-scale businesses such as rearing sheep, collecting honey, and women and children became experts at making sandalwood sticks, preparing jute bags, and so on. She worked in 24 villages of Udayanagar. The people of the village loved her as a mother because it was for the first time that they saw a person who shared their life, lived with them, and acted in their favor. In 1994, Sister Rani Maria was elected as the provincial councillor of her congregation, having the charge of the Department of Social Service. On her election to the provincial council, she said, "Power or position was not important in the field of service. Only the attitude towards selfless service would make one achieve something." Sister Rani Maria made deep impressions and left incredible mark wherever she worked. Today, she is known as Mother of Poor, Smiling Sister, Heaven of the Needy, and Queen of Indore or Indore Rani. This is the story of Sister Rani Maria, presented by Satvein Pustak. Thank you.